Yo, what's going on, y'all? My name is Christopher Life Willars, social content creator. Yes, I reached 31 million people last year, but tonight I'm chatting with Staxx. Y'all know what it is, man. Make sure you get into this conversation. We're talking about some good stuff for real.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Christopher Life Willars.
So he was like, bro, I think you need to go home and do more TikToks. And I'm gonna tell you how God is real. I don't try to push nothing but what I believe in is God. The day before that, I was scrolling on TikTok, and they're like, sign up for this creators program. So I just signed up because I'm just trying to make money however. And I already had 10,000 followers from a year ago when I did that one TikTok and never touched my phone again. So I qualified. Yeah. And then I did that TikTok and I called my wife. I said, I don't think I need a DoorDash. And by the time I got home, I had over 3 million views. And the estimated rewards I showed her, and she was like, you're not DoorDashing anymore. You need to do. And that was it, man. Like, I'm fortunate. I started actually it's a full-time social content creator. I can actually say that, and I'm grateful for that. But it's also led me into, man, so many opportunities because now I work in recovery and I started a nonprofit, and all of it's through social media. And it's just been a ride, man. It's been crazy.
What were you thinking when TikTok was getting banned? What were your thoughts?
I wasn't scared. I was one of those. I was telling my homeboys like months ago. I was like, yo, we gotta go other places. You know what I'm saying? Diversify, get it. And you know, thank God when it came, I would have been okay anyway. It would have hurt. And I think it's messed up because it would
90 days. I think it's got a 90-day window right now. So still in limbo, but I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for it.
I don't think it's going nowhere. But if it does, I mean, luckily I got out in front of it. So I was able to monetize in some certain other areas and got decent followings in other areas. And now, because I got late to the YouTube party, you know, people been reaching out. I got my camera. People like, did you say so? I got my camera, my MacBook. I got all my mic, all that out the fire. After the family.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. So
yeah.
What? So first, a chemical spill happens, right?
Tornado first.
F2. Oh, tornado. So tell me what happened.
Oh man, April last year. I wake up. It's like midnight, right? And mind you, this is funny. Behind my yard, there's a creek, and there's this family of foxes. Like literally, like we know, like they be back there every spring, so whatever. That night, I let my smallest dog, my Frenchie, out, and one of the foxes, I'm assuming it was the dad fox. People might think I'm losing my mind right here, but whatever. Was by our pool pump on the other side of the fence, and he was like, whoo, like making a different sound than what foxes make. Foxes are usually high, you know. So I was like, that's weird as shit. I was like, is he gonna try to attack us? Like, what's going on? Then he ran off. And I let my dog in. And about an hour later, you know how you finally fall asleep? Something said, get up. Thank God. I got up. And I remember my dad used to tell me, if something wakes you up in the middle of the night, walk the house. Just walk the house, you know? And this time, usually I got this path that I walk my house. But this time, for whatever reason, something said, go to the window. And I looked out the window. And I've never been in a tornado. I can't tell you, but I knew we was in one then. And I tell my wife, I said, we're in a tornado. I said, you need to get the dog, get on the other side. She's like, we're not in it. My wife she the opposite of whatever. I love her, but
is there a basement?
We're in the basement. So we chose the basement of the house. I got my elderly mother upstairs in the master's bedroom in the opposite corner. And we got our house is nice, you know, nice size. And I run up the stairs. And I also got a 70-pound pit bull that's scared of everything. And I got a bully that thinks everything's a game up there that they don't leave my mom's side. And I open the door and she don't know what's going on. She's older, and I can hear the wind just. And by the time we got to the top of the steps, I had everybody in front of me. It dropped. It just, and I was like, we about to die. I was like, Mom, we gotta go.
With the whole house, like
no. Just all of a sudden I couldn't hear nothing. And it was like weird. Like I was like, what the heck is that? I was like, Mom, we gotta go. And I ran down in the basement, we got the family together, and all of a sudden it was like that second wave. And what happened was the tornado hit our couple subs, but it hit the house in front. It sent the tree through the house in front of us, but tornadoes bounce. So it came over our house and came down where the creek bed and all that. Like, I guess the valley sucked it in or whatever. So it took our deck out, a little bit of our roof, but we got a brick house. We survived that. But it took like the whole forest out. Two of the families just moved back in our neighborhood. Red Cross was there, helicopters over the neighborhood, police handing out food, and it was bad, man. I thought that was it.
I remember you going out with the camera.
Yeah.
Like, look at all this shit flipped over, right?
Somebody put in my comments, you didn't go through all that. I forgot I even posted.
Oh, man.
Up here. You know.
Listen, you could go through anything and they won't believe you. There's always people that are like naysayers. You know what I mean?
And I get it, man. Maybe I wouldn't believe somebody if they said they did 17 years in prison, survived the pandemic, got hit by a tornado, and maybe. But yeah, it was that. And then the next, just a few months ago, I'm landing in Boston. I'm getting ready to do some recovery work, go to do some work on methadone mile, get with one of the passes, do some good work out there, get with my people, Desi and them. And right when, you take your plane off airplane mode when your plane lands.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden my wife, God bless her. I love my wife. She never leads with a subject. She just sends me a video from our front door. And I just see this black, massive, I don't know if it's a nuclear bomb. I don't know what's going on. There's no text. There's no words.
Oh, man.
And then I see the news clip, and it's biolab chemical fire. And for about a month, we had shelter in place at night because when the dew point dropped, it would reignite the chlorine that was on fire or whatever. And everything smelled like chlorine, and our lungs were burned. They evacuated part of the. Yeah, we had that. And then Thursday, what's today? Monday, Tuesday? So what, 4 or 5, whatever. Thursday, my house burned down.
And how did that happen?
Yep. So I got the fire marshal report back. I was glad.
Were you home at the time?
I was home. But
explain what happened. Like, how did it?
Yeah, the official reason fire marshal is construction deficiency, which means I got the whole definition, but essentially how the home was put together or whatever was not put together right. So
should the tornado hit and it didn't help, right?
But the thing is, I had a crew come in there and they repaired stuff and everything was supposed to be good. Home had been inspected, all that stuff. But the night before we had used the fireplace. It's cold. The cold snap came through last week in the South. Destin, Florida was covered in snow. Atlanta was freezing, blah, blah. Our house is big and the heating's not right. The heating and the air, the ventilation's never been right. We had to address that. We knew that was one of the things. House has 2 fireplaces. We've used them before. The night previous, no issues. Both of them, put them out. Blah, blah. The next day I get up. My mother, that part of the wing where she's in, that heats up. It's good. But I know she's going to come out to the living room. We're going to get coffee. It's cold. I light the fire. Just like any other time. I go in the kitchen. I get my coffee. I do a TikTok. If you look at my post, you can see the last one I did in my kitchen. And you'll see the next one I did with my house on fire. And I was in the kitchen for about 10 minutes. I came out of the kitchen. I sat by the fireplace because I wanted to get warm. It hadn't heated up yet. had my coffee. I'm just sitting there looking at my phone, reposting my stuff. And out the corner of my eye, I see an ember come down. I'm like, that's not right. And then I see another one. I'm like, oh,
nowhere near the fireplace.
No, from the fire. It's coming down in the fireplace. And I'm like, why is there ember coming down in the fireplace? So I go out on our deck and I look on the roof. There's smoke coming from the chimney, but there's smoke coming from other areas. And I'm like, man. And I run and I go into the hallway. I pull the ladder down. I go up there and there's smoke in our attic. And my heart just drops. But I can't see a fire. So I'm like hoping, I don't know, maybe just smoke is coming out the wrong way. Maybe somebody, I don't know, right? And I still went and got the extinguisher from the kitchen and I ran back in the attic because just in case. And when I got back up the ladder, I seen the orange glow over the chimney area and my heart, and I had to go across the beams, pretty big attic. I got back there in the corner and can't breathe. Like,
smoky up there, right? It's
a smoke a lot. So like anybody, smoke inhalation is real. Safety first. You can get your stuff back. Like real talk, because I'm not even supposed to be here on this call right now. And I thought I had it out. Ran back down, the ladder. My foot had went through part of the ceiling on the way, through the living room on the way back to the ladder to get down. I'm screaming, get my people out of there. My mom, my wife, and my dogs. And when my wife, she's trying to understand what's going on because everybody's just waking up. It's out there asleep. And she starts screaming. She looks up. We can see orange coming through the hole where my foot went through in the ceiling.
And what time is it at this time?
Early. It's like 8:30. It's
morning?
8:30. Yeah. And I shoot straight up there. But I'm yelling. I'm like, yo, get the extinguisher from the garage. But I'm up in that. She can't hear me like that. You know what I'm saying? She's screaming from. It's a lot going on. And I took what was left of the extinguisher and I went back in that corner, but the fire started to go up the beams. And thank God, because it was so thick up there from the kickback from the extinguishers and the smoke that I couldn't, when I turned back, I couldn't see to crawl back down. And I remember I was like, I'm gonna punch through the ceiling. I'm going through the ceiling. Like I'm not going out like this. And all of a sudden, whatever, I don't know what happened, but I seen enough of it and I made my way over there. I got down and it was just made sure my family was out and it was just me kind of processing the best I could in that moment, but prior to getting a report back from the fire marshal, like, I felt guilt. Like I'm trying to play back. Like I'm trying to did I do anything different? Like, what if the fire got high? And they were like, no, they're like, if the fire got high, it's supposed to be contained in your chimney. It's supposed to be sealed.
Yeah, there's supposed to be no way for it to exit out of the chimney.
Yeah, man. The firemen, and they were apologizing because the fire was in the attic, but they had to put it out in the water.
So they ruined your whole house, your whole ceiling. I've seen in your videos, your whole ceiling collapsed on everything, right?
Yeah, and then our whole ceiling's out, so everything's gone. And then underneath it, in the basement, ceiling fell. And all that stuff's a total loss. I mean, we're going to try to salvage some stuff, but we made it out safe.
Do you have insurance?
We had, so it's going to be a freaking... Well, let me explain that. We had hazard insurance. So all that was covered is our home. We didn't have homeowner.
So all your stuff inside is not covered.
They're not covering. The GoFundMe is put us in this Airbnb. All the people that have been blessing us and supporting us, man, I want to really speak to that if I can, to thank everybody. But yeah, we had hazards, so it covers the whole house. I guess it is the silver lining, right? There was probably some more. We don't know what else was wrong with that house. It was an older house. It was built in 73, right? And they got to do a full gut. They're going to rebuild the whole house. So, for some months we're going to be displaced. We're going to be walking into a safer home, and that could have happened if I was out of town, just my mother there, like
you were sleeping.
Yeah, so it's like it's messed up. Like my family, they like, yo, you good? Like mental health, you lost all your stuff. Even with that, like in hindsight, we're not no bougie people. Like we didn't have $1 million paintings. We had clothes and TVs and couches, So
you didn't have the Picasso. What about the Picasso that's on the wall, man? Total loss.
So you gotta no, I don't have just because you're on social, I'm not there yet. But yeah, so it hurts, but in hindsight, we made it out safe. Our home's being rebuilt, and we got shelter. We got a place, temporary housing. What we decided to do, we went and got an RV. It is so we could stay on our land. Our dogs could still get to the yard. We can still watch our home, and we're gonna thug it out. We're gonna be okay, man. We'll get our furniture off Temu or what, and do what we got to do.
I'll put a link for the GoFundMe in the description of the video.
And yeah, it's been real, and to everybody, man, there's been an outpouring of support. And like I said, literally with the GoFundMe, we've been able to make sure our Airbnb is covered. We were able to put the down payment on the RV. And by the way, anybody that's having housing issues, RV, we got a big RV, sleeps 8 people for only $400 a month. Cheat code. We learned something.
I got my studio in a RV trailer, man.
There you go. There you go.
I pull it all over the country.
Oh, there you go. And what else have we've been able? Food, clothing, shelter, because we got out with some suitcases. We're gonna try to salvage some stuff if we can. But man, people have, God is good, man. People.
I mean, look at those other people in California and people down in South Carolina. It could be a lot worse.
I know, and I work with Believe Detox Center. That's my team out of Granada, Los Angeles. They're in Los Angeles, and I'm praying for them. And I'm watching the news, and I'm hoping it doesn't hit any of our centers, and we're making it through it. And next thing I know, they're sending me love and prayers and support from Cali. And I always, it's crazy, man. Like you never, and I'm so glad I was never ever one of them dudes that like, what you call like arrogant or what. Like I always stay humble because my father told me that he was like, yo, you never know. You could be up one day, down the next. Always keep your heart the same. And man, I know like it could be so worse, man. And that's why I'm fighting for. I don't know, man.
So what's in store for the future for you?
Oh man, hey, we are still rocking and rolling. Because man, I can't be a motivational speaker and tell people to push through what they're going through and then get tested myself and don't do it. So we got, first and foremost, we got a couple conferences coming up. I'm grateful to any time and opportunity to go run my mouth. But I say more specifically something that I'm really want to shout out is I'm getting ready to launch through my nonprofit, the Life Unit Learning Channel, which is going to be a free educational space. It's going to be different curriculums like coping skills, emotional intelligence, the stuff for my brothers and sisters that's coming home from prison. It's going to teach you how not to mess somebody up and go back to prison. We're going to have a lot of financial literacy. We're going to have stuff like education and curriculum that people need for free. And then, man, podcasts. I'm so excited. We're getting ready to do some real takes. I started doing breaking news and they started doing over 100,000 views. So it showed me that I can put my voice in different areas. This year, I'm finally starting. I've already got 2 book dates. Starting to do stand-up comedy. Come laugh at my pain, y'all. I got some stuff for y'all. Y'all ain't seen none yet. And the one-man show, the stage play, is in the work, and it seems like we're getting closer and closer. And there's actually 2 in development. One about my life to be titled 144. And then there's one dealing with the OG Chronicle. So yeah, it's going to be some fun for 2025. Even with this stuff, people think I'm crazy because they're like, yo, you good? Like, you sure I'm good. Like, it could have been I survived 17 years in prison. I survived this.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
I look forward to the future, man. And I'll leave a link for you in the description for all your social media, your GoFundMe page. And I wish you nothing but success in the future.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for having me on your platform, man. I enjoyed the conversation.
Definitely. Is there anyone else you want to give a shout out to before we go?
Man, I mean, hey, shout out to my Lord and Savior. Shout out to my wife, my mother, just everybody, anybody that supports and believes in the content, in the message, anybody that advocates for me to get into spaces, and anybody that's ever given me a chance to make an impact, you know, and to anybody that's seeing this, keep going. Like I know this season's it's a different season for a lot of people. Just keep going.
If you like this show, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. And if you don't like the show, too bad, start your own podcast. Peace.